They call it the Biden migrant invasion, and it's wrong. It's immoral. And the vast majority of New Yorkers agree with me that this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We must stop it. We must stop it immediately. And you know, for the people coming up, it's also unacceptable. They come up in what's called caravans. The women are treated horribly. They're being raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody wants to talk about it. The fake news will report that, oh, it's so terrible what he said. But it's fact. It's fact. The people are being treated, they're coming up in 100 degrees and then it's freezing. They're coming through snake-infested areas. It's a hell of a journey and so many people are dying coming up. If we told them, please do not come up, you're not going to come in, like I was telling them for a long period of time, they wouldn't come. They're being offered, look at California Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom. He offers education, he offers medical care, he offers pensions, he offers everything. He'll even give them an electric car because they're all over the place. How about the electric Band-Aid? You like the all-electric Band-Aid? Not too much. Does anybody like a car that doesn't go very far? Costs a lot. In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first. Would anybody, now this is up to you, has anybody heard the snake? Would anybody like to hear the snake? Because we can stay here all night, I don't care. Would you like to hear the snake? So it's a metaphor, it's an old song and it was redone. It didn't have anything to do with snakes or people or illegal immigration, but this has to do with illegal immigration. And I think it's very accurate actually, and it's very sad. But I'll go and we'll do it, and some of you have heard it and many of you haven't. But we're going to do it right now for the great people of the Bronx and elsewhere. We love the Bronx. We love the Bronx. Are you ready? On her work, and you know what? You know what this is all about, right? Did you know? You've heard this before? Have you heard it? We got the greatest people here. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, he said, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons, when we allow people from insane asylums and mental institutions, which are being emptied out all over the world. You know, their prison populations are going way down. You know why? Because they're being dumped into the United States. When we are allowing terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before, remember the snake. Remember the snake. Because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before, and you need a new president, and you have to get rid of this person who is not a smart person, not a respected person, and doesn't have a clue what the hell is happening. So, that's the snake. Did you enjoy the snake?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Day one, I will seal the border, and I will stop the invasion of our country. Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad, radical left, pro-crime policy that virtually everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy. There is no way when you watch this guy get off an airplane, he doesn't even have to talk. When he falls out of a helicopter, he's got 3 little stairs. It's not that hard. You got 2 railings. You don't fall out of helicopters. You don't fall upstairs. He falls up. He has more trouble going up than he does coming down. That's a little sick. But you're just not going to vote for him. You just, we got to win. If we just win the state, it just puts it right. It's such a big state. It puts it to bed. You're going to have a president and people, but you're going to have a president that understands what we have to do. We have to be nice about it, but we have to do things. And we're going to be done. And the world is going to respect us again. We were never so respected as we were 4 years ago. President Xi of China, Putin, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough guy, known as a strongman. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump loves strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better, because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person, but he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use afraid. I use the word respect. They respected your president. They respected the United States of America. And they're going to do it again, and it's going to happen fast. But we have to get this absolute disaster. The worst president in history. He makes Jimmy Carter look like he had a brilliant administration. The only happy person about Joe Biden is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy looks brilliant by comparison. I also want to thank New York's finest. I grew up with them. I know them. I love them. I love our firemen. I love our teachers. These are incredible people, and we have to bring the word respect and honor back to them, right where it belongs. A few weeks ago, I visited with a grieving family, New York police officer Jonathan Diller. What a beautiful family. He was a beautiful person. He was 31 years old, gunned down during a traffic stop by a vicious thug. And just horrible, leaving his beautiful young wife behind, his son Ryan behind, 1-year-old son. And it was the saddest day. It was a horrible thing. Opened the door and just started shooting him. The criminal charge was savagely murdering Officer Dillon, who was previously arrested by the NYPD 21 times. And he was allowed to go out because of the political things they do here. I'm the only one they want to keep. If I ever said, I want no bail, they'd say, you got to pay a fortune. If I ever say, oh, no cash bail, that sounds good, that sounds good. No, it doesn't apply to Trump. I'm the only one it doesn't apply to, probably. And the accomplice driving the car had been arrested 14 times and was actually a far more violent person. And his nickname was Killer. They called him Killer. These dangerous and violent repeat offenders should never have been on our streets. Jonathan should be alive today, but they were released again and again and again. I will not sit by and accept this reckless insanity when I am in the White House. I will stand up to the Marxist DAs and Soros prosecutors, and we will tell them no more. We're not going to stand for it. We will not let them destroy our communities. We will not let them destroy our country. There's a 53% increase in felony assaults on your subways. 53%. That's in a short period of time. Since 2019, murders are up more than 20%, shootings are up more than 30%. I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. And remember, Black, Hispanic, Asian people need this protection and safety more than anyone else. Don't ever forget it. And after years of talk by the radical left Democrats, we are going to give them the protection they need, and we're going to protect our police. We're going to make sure they do a great job. They can do it very quickly.
Ed Smallwood's calling
in.
on.
They know who the bad guys are. They know everything about them. They know their name. They know their middle initial. We're going to insist that if a violent criminal murders a police officer, they receive the death penalty. It's going to be quick.
They're calling back.
I also want to work with your mayor and your governor, happen to be Democrats, to clean up the homeless encampments so that you can once again enjoy your parks and your public spaces. Right now, you don't have public spaces. They're occupied by migrants in tents. Pleasures as simple as a walk in the park or watching your children again play in a Little League game will come roaring back, and they're going to come back very quickly. Your lifestyle and the American dream will be with you once again, and we're going to bring it back, the American dream. You don't have an American dream right now. You will be proud, children, and we will be even prouder. Years ago, people with severe mental illness were in mental institutions, and then a certain governor, I won't mention the name because at this point, what difference? They dumped all of them into the streets because they said those institutions were too expensive to run. So now they live on our streets, and that's what we have. This is no good for anybody. It's bad for the people who need help, and it's bad for the people of our city, and it's a horrible, horrible way to live. I want to work in partnership with your local leaders, Democrats, pretty much all, and move the severely mentally ill off your streets and back into a place where they can get help and the help that they desperately need. I want to recognize, by the way, a few very special people. You have some really great people here, and I'm sorry I can't mention all. We have congressmen all over the place, but I just can't mention you today. You're never going to speak to me, but would anybody like to hear these congressmen's names? But I do have to mention a few people. We're truly honored to be joined by a man who's a Democrat and a former member of the New York City Council, and he's been a friend of mine, and he helped me very much with the Ferry Point project and getting it working, and did a really good job. Ruben Diaz Sr. Come on up, Ruben. Good.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am a Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican. I used to be a state senator for 15 years. And I used to be city council member. Today I'm here for various reasons. But I want to tell you first that as a Puerto Rican, as a Hispanic, I want to apologize to you for the conduct of George Juan Merchant. As a Hispanic, I want to apologize. He's been used. He has been used to destroy you. But we know better than that. We know better than that. As a minister, president of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, I want to tell AOC This morning, she intended to become a prophet. And she said, even God doesn't want Trump in the Bronx because it's going to rain. Madam Prophet LC, you have become a false prophet.
He is a false prophet. Has been and will always be.
Beautiful day. That means that not only you guys want Trump in the Bronx, because if we're gonna measure that for the weather, then I would say humbly that even God wants you in the Bronx.
Amen, brother. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
And I want
Godly principles.
I want to close by saying, Mr. President, I want to join you in having the Bronx great again. Please accept this Democrat, this black Puerto Rican with a kinky hair and a broken English. Please accept my endorsement for you as the president. Thank you very much.
Beautiful job. Thank you. Thank you very much. How nice was that? I didn't expect that. Really? That was beautiful. It's dangerous to do that. You never know what's going to come out. Maybe he'll change his mind coming up, but he doesn't change his mind. That man is a winner. He's a winner and a great man. Thank you very much, Ruben. Also with us is New York native and current U.S. Congressman. He's hot as a pistol. Oh, boy, he has a future. And he's a great friend of mine, Byron Donalds. Come up, please, Byron.
This guy's very intelligent.
Mr. President.
All right, joining me now from the rally, and we'll dip back into it, is Latina Brown, who lives in the Bronx. She's a Democrat. She's voting for Trump and one of the organizers of the Trump March held in the South Bronx last weekend. Also with me is Madeline Brain, former Democrat, New York City resident. She spoke just before the former president did tonight. Latina, let's start with you. Now, you're a Democrat. You're supporting Trump. Why?
Well, it's time for a change in leadership. We've been voting down the same party for years now, and nothing has changed. Things have gotten out of control. We're dealing with housing situations. We're dealing with homelessness, the mentally ill, crimes. There's a lot happening here, inflation. So it's time that we unite, Democrats, Republicans, independents, and conservatives, and start voting in this general election. We need a change in leadership. And I have to do what I have to do as a community advocate to unite the people.
Madeline, you and I have talked before about crime and how it ravages especially the minority community. Former President Trump spoke directly to that point tonight. How important is that at this moment?
Yes, it is. I mean, it is imperative at this point in time. You know, if we don't restore law and order in New York City and every major city across this country, it's just going to self-decimate from the inside out. We have so many, mothers that are down at the morgue identifying their dead child's body. You know, we have so many young people who have lost their lives at the hands of someone who looks just like them. All right, so we need to focus on initiatives that are going to help our young people avoid incarceration. Number one, we need to replace those drugs and those guns with something like a hammer and some nails and some sheetrock and some metalwork and ironwork. All right, we need to replace those things.
Latina, I want to just go back to you for a moment. We're watching this. We played almost the entire rally, and it's so fascinating to watch. This coalition of Americans, working class, black, brown, white, young, old, come together for what former President Trump said is common sense solutions to restore New York, the Bronx, and America. How important is that common sense theme and that unity theme that he was interweaving throughout his entire speech tonight?
Well, I think it's very important. When we did the pre-rally, I did this in partnership with Black Patriots for Trump, with Derek Gibson, and with Reverend Ruben Diaz Sr. We wanted to send a strong message to the Democrats, to the DNC, that we will not sit back and allow them to destroy our country, allow them to destroy our city and our communities. We want common sense leadership, and I think that what President Trump is saying, he's trying to unite all of us together. We should not be fighting. It shouldn't be about Republicans, Democrats, conservatives. It should be about all of us coming to the forefront to really send a strong message. And if you look at the people standing here at this park, the Bronx came out today heavy. They came out today heavy. That pre-rally, it gained us so much national attention. It sent a strong message that we are just fed up. I'm fed up. I live in this community. I live 10 minutes away from this park. I lived in this community for 19 years. I'm a mom, I have a daughter. We worry about our safety taking public transportation. I mean, how much more of this do we have to take? So we need to get Trump back into office.
I loved it. There's a lot of love there tonight. And President Trump's love of New York came through, which I loved hearing about how much he loves the city and he loves all the boroughs. Latina and Madeline, thank you so much. Joining me now, Vivek Ramaswamy, former 2024 presidential candidate. He's coming to us from Livingston County, Michigan, where he's campaigning for Republicans. Vivek, we hate to cut away even for a second from this rally because it's so exciting. It looks pretty boring where you are. But no, I'm just kidding. But this is a moment that we've all been waiting for, Vivek. You and I have talked about it. Bringing the country together and going into these liberal strongholds where liberal policies have destroyed communities. How big is this tonight?
This is big time, and in that room we got about 1,000 people who are raucously cheering in a swing state like Michigan. We're seeing this across the country, Laura, is that America First includes all Americans. This is bigger than the Republican Party. I'm speaking at the Libertarian Party convention tomorrow night. President Trump's speaking there on Saturday night. It's bigger than the Republican label. This is about a movement that's bringing in that multi-ethnic working class coalition that I think has the potential to deliver a landslide this year like we have not seen since Reagan in 1980 and 1984. It's up to us to now show up in those places where traditional Republicans don't show up to actually capture those votes. That's what President Trump is doing in the South Bronx tonight.
It's so exciting to see women out there in such huge numbers. Again, black, brown, people from all backgrounds. And you know what has been missing in politics in the sad economic times that we've lived in is fun, Vivek. Politics can actually be fun, and he's having fun up there. He's enjoying himself, and I think we look at the difference between Biden, who struggles to speak, sometimes struggles to move, and Trump's up there just freewheeling, and he said, look, Biden couldn't do this. That is true. Biden could not do what he's doing tonight.
And fun is unifying. It's not just going to be through debating one policy issue or another, but bringing a spirit to say, we might not agree on everything as Americans, but you know what, we're going to have fun together, even as we spar, and I think President Trump is doing a great job of that, and I think it's going to be a competitive weapon heading into the fall.
Vivek, you're doing a great job in Michigan, I know. We'll check back with you. Let's go back dipping into the rally. President Trump is still speaking in the South Bronx.
Gershwin, Frank Sinatra, and in baseball alone, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Jackie Robinson, and many, many others. It's a city where workers and skilled craftsmen strode across steel beams 80 stories high to build the great Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building and all of the others. It's the city that lit up the shining lights of Broadway, that turned Times Square from a seedy, dirty, long-forgotten area into one of the greatest crossroads of light and glamour anywhere in the world. It's a city that produced generations of everyday American heroes who willingly spilled their blood and gave everything they had to make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. Above all, this is the place that every one of us here today has been proud to call our home, our town, our city. And we are the ones who are going to make our city great again. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this city, and it is hard-working patriots, and this is something you can say it, and you can say it 1,000,000 times, and you can emblazon it. It's hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. You are going to save our country. We're going to get out and vote.
Amen.
You heard President Trump. He loves New York, and he believes New York should be saved. And all of the cities across this country, these wonderful places where so many hardworking Americans deserve better. This was a historic night. Jesse Waters and the gang are next. President Trump is just about to wrap, but stay with us on Fox for all the coverage of this and a lot more. See you tomorrow night.
Fox News Alert, President Donald Trump speaking live to a massive crowd in the South Bronx. Let's listen in.
America safe again. We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York. We love you. Thank you. God bless everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
And God bless you, Donald Trump.
An hour and a half of Donald Trump speaking live in the South Bronx. A Republican hasn't carried the state of New York in over 40 years. And tonight, fresh off his visit to the South Bronx, Donald Trump's looking to change that.
Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. This is something. You know, we wanted to keep it small because who knew? This is like a love fest. Love fest. It's a love fest. We love you. Thank you, darling.
Here's the native New Yorker feeling right at home.
Your business and do well. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now when I became president. The costs have gone up so much. Bacon has gone. I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. When he's finished with his speech, he can never find the stairs. He can never find the stairs. And when he does, it's not a pretty picture either. Thank goodness for Secret Service. They come up and they guide him off. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite.
This morning, supporters waited in line in the rain to hear the former president. A borough that voted 90% for Biden in 2020.
Woo, look at that crowd,
which today
Jen.
became a bit more red.
Look at that crowd.
After 4 years, you could
My
feel the
goodness
voters'
gracious
remorse.
sakes alive.
Johnny was there as our witness.
Why are you here today to support Donald Trump?
I am here for Trump.
To support Donald Trump, to put America first.
What do you
Amen.
like about Donald Trump?
Everything. He's from Queens, and he speaks our language.
I like Trump because he keep it real. He don't got no filter. He's for the people.
He speaks money, and this is what the country needs. We need money, not inflation. We need money.
Everything was under control. We had low inflation. We had gas under $1.80.
What issues are people in the Bronx facing?
Economic stress.
They're facing an illegal invasion.
In the Bronx right now, it's definitely crime.
Prices is extreme.
We care about the housing. We care about the crime.
How has Joe Biden addressed those issues?
He hasn't.
He hasn't addressed them. He wants to make them worse. Nothing. He's just been talking a lot.
The Biden name in the Bronx sounds like mass incarceration.
What has Joe Biden done for the minority community?
He's done nothing but say, you ain't black.
Incarcerated us. Not a thing.
Absolutely nothing. I really could not tell you what he's done.
Joe Biden says if you don't support him, you ain't black. Are you black?
Hey, Joe, guess what?
Oh, I'm absolutely black, and I support Trump. I don't know why you would say that. He's not even black.
I guess I said I ain't black, because I'm not voting for him.
Trump is more black than him. Trump is black as I am, you heard?
Love was in the air. Donald Trump speaking for over an hour, addressing
look at
the
that
economy,
crowd.
the border, foreign policy, and, of course, Joe Biden.
Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our sidewalks are littered with garbage, bottles, and trash. Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first.
Amen.
Not everybody was happy that Trump was on their turf.
And I put
Reverend
God
Sharpton,
first.
Happy DEI Thursday, by the way, was ready for a street fight.
Donald Trump is a street fighter. You do
Oh,
not
this
come
guy's a
into the
jerk.
ring with him with gloves, looking for a referee to stop every 3 minutes rest. No,
This guy
is
wouldn't
a
know how to
street
tell
fight.
the
You
truth
come in with a broken
if you gave it to him.
bottle and an ash can, because it's going to be that kind of guy.
Fighting dirty. Democrats don't know any other way. Forget about winning hearts and minds. They'd rather throw you in jail and call you racist. Here's Joe Biden's new ad. Watch.
Of course I hate these people.
Donald Trump disrespecting black folk is nothing new. He was sued for refusing to rent his apartments to black families and called for the execution of 5 innocent black and brown teenagers.
And it's more than anger, it's hatred.
It's why Trump stood with violent white supremacists, warned of a bloodbath if he loses the next election, and if he's president again, vowed to be a dictator who wants revenge on his enemies. Now, who do you think that is?
Donald Trump's been running his mouth his whole life, nonstop. And they can't find a single thing he said that's racist. They have to go back to the 80s to find Central Park 5. Here's Trump in the 80s, by the way. Black America wanted to beat Trump before Black America had even heard the name Joe Biden. Politics has always been personal. Personality's persuasive. But nothing persuades like results. Traditional Democrat constituencies, young black Hispanic voters, are not better off than they were 4 years ago, and are coming around to a man who represents a movement they were told not to trust. But every bone in their body tells them that they can't trust the party bosses. Sick of their corny commands and broken promises, people in the Bronx and all over America are beginning to think for themselves, independently, outside of a system that's trapped and scolded them for opening their mouths and eyes. AOC's brain can't even grasp anything other than left-right. Watch her stammer and lie. Humiliated, Trump gets bigger crowds in her borough than she does.
New York City's blue. Brooklyn's blue. Brooklyn is blue. Queens is blue. The Bronx is blue. And he's got nowhere to go. So he's decided to come to the South Bronx. He's broke. He needs to pay these legal funds and, busing people in order to get those donations so that he can funnel them to his legal fees is kind of his business right now.
And Trump doesn't have to be in court for a week. He doesn't have to be in the Bronx. He wants to. Trump's not going to the Bronx because he's broke. He's going to the Bronx because the Bronx is broke, thanks to Bidenomics and
That's
AOC.
right.
Johnny's been there since 2. Hasn't seen a single bus pull up.
Where are you from? The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx.
Right.
What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump.
You need to tell her that she need to stay out the Bronx, because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump.
I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
And who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
All these people want is to be heard. And when you realize that, you understand how easy a politician's job is. Even easier than mine. You listen to the voters and you deliver the goods. That's it. You don't ignore them and deliver for yourself. AI would do a better job in Washington than Democrats. The Bronx has never felt more abandoned.
We have so many Americans doing so bad in this country because we have people in this country believe that they have the right to strip us of our humanity, strip us of everything that we own, strip us of our rights to raise our children the way we want to raise our children. We have to stand up against them. It's not about just supporting Trump, it's supporting your rights. It's supporting this country's rights. It's supporting our children. All of you people at home that's scared to come out and say you support Donald Trump, we get you. We understand you might lose your job. You might lose, but vote for him anyway. If you continue to support the Democratic Party, which is anti-black, you're a damn fool.
The forgotten men and women of this country, the normies, and blue-collar Democrats who've been slighted for decades are all joining together as a part of a growing movement from the ground up. The movement reaches from the heartland to the street corner. It's everywhere. And the Bronx is just the beginning. Trump's campaigning on Biden's side of the field now. Look for more rallies in swing state blue cities like Philly, Milwaukee, Detroit, Atlanta, Las Vegas. We're fundamentally altering the American political coalition and returning power to the people. Some would say we're saving democracy.
Amen.
John Garland is a lifelong Bronx resident and former Democrat, and he joins me now. John Garland, what was it like out there today?
Oh, it was exciting. It was, the entire atmosphere was electrifying. There were people from all over the Bronx, black, white, Hispanic. There was Asians, there was Jews, there were it was just a smorgasbord of basically patriots.
And why was everybody there today? Was it they're sick of Joe Biden, they love Trump, the economy? How would you describe it?
I would describe it as people came out here to show that they were fed up. They're fed up with systemic racism. They're fed up with being systemically excluded. And it's not just minorities. It's about the American people, you know. And we make up a whole, you know, we're a whole spectrum of different people, you know.
Was there something that Donald Trump said tonight that really hit home for everybody and you?
Well, there wasn't anything that was in particular that moved me. The whole thing as a whole, it was the sum of its parts. So we had, I mean, there were people who were expressing themselves in a way like we're fed up. People from the Bronx is fed up. People from New York is fed up. And we want something different. We want change. And Donald Trump has promised to bring change. And he's proven that he can do that. You know, this isn't somebody who's just stepping into the political arena as he was in 2016. Like, now he's experienced. He's went through what he's had to go through. The man's skin is thick as steel. You know, so we're here for him because he's here for us.
So you're saying you're looking for hope and change. And Donald Trump's that guy. Yes. Hope and change.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Mr. Garland, thanks so much for joining Jesse Waters Prime Time. Sounds like there's still a party going on in the background. Go enjoy yourself, all right?
Oh, yeah. There's still people that's still coming in. There's people nobody's really leaving. People are just congregating and sharing ideas, and everybody was glad to be here. It was a great event.
Well, sounds like a beautiful thing. Go have a nice early Memorial Day weekend and stay out of trouble. Or maybe make some trouble for me, because I can't be there.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Let's go now to election.